Hey, it's Soul, and this is the guide to cooking and fishing in Midnight, although only sort of. I want to let you know now I'm giving you information as is, and things can change before launch. You'll understand where I'm coming from soon. This is an intermediate guide that at least assumes you've done a little bit of cooking and fishing at some point in World of Warcraft. Here, you'll get the skinny on how to develop cooking and the cool things that come out of that, and at least get an understanding of what fishing will entail so far. Please like this video, subscribe for more WoW coverage, and catch me where I'm live. Midnight cooking is learned over by the main inn over in Silvermoon City, and at the moment, leveling is very easy. In testing, I needed 1 stack of this, a big old stick of butter, and 2 stacks of a pouch of spices. Then I made spiced biscuits until I could make no more, and then I created hearty food until max level. There's a bit of luck involved, and maybe you need to buy more materials, but basically you can max out cooking and learn virtually every recipe in one sitting using nothing but vendor items. Of course, when the time comes, you'll want to maximize your profits with tools made via professions, but you don't need to wait for those just for leveling. I strongly advise maxing out leveling straight away though, so in the future you'll always make the maximum yield of food. From the trainer you learn all but 1 recipe, you even learn feasts. And that last recipe is earned via quest. We'll get to the food in a bit, but first I want to point out how this recipe asks for a thing called plant protein. In Midnight, there are a few key ingredients that go into recipes. There's the usual meat and fish, which can be filleted into fish parts, but as usual, sometimes exact fish are needed. Sometimes herbs are used in recipes like teas, and now there's a thing called plant protein which goes into some dishes. You'll be killing lots of plant life for these materials. Drop rates will help dictate which foods end up being the most profitable and viable to make. I just want you to be aware where those distinctions are. Finally, there's a small round of finishing reagents to either add resourcefulness or multi-craft to your recipes. Now, I kind of sucked during testing and I haven't found a place to farm these up, as they can be very useful for maxing out production for your ideal food or feasts. The foods are categorized in an almost kind of placeholder, kind of a mundane way. We have starter, immediate, advanced, master, feasts, and teas. Since spam crafting only 1 recipe will max out cooking at the moment, I'm just going to skip straight to the master food, which gives either 65 of your highest secondary stats or 50 of your main stat. The recipe learned via quest, by the way, that gives secondary stats and it only asks for plant protein. The other ingredients here are just bought from vendors. Feasts also give either primary or secondary stats of the same value, but also add extra stamina. With the exception of teas, all food can also be smushed together into hearty meals or hearty feasts that persist through death. And then we have the tea I mentioned, which is new to Midnight. It's pretty cheap to make, asking for 2 of an herb and some vendor mats. Drinking tea gives a food buff to gathering stats. The bonus is pretty good, so it's definitely worth stacking along with other gathering bonuses. And that's kind of it for cooking. So far there's no additional recipes or decor, which some can be found elsewhere. I was just hoping cooking would provide some too. Now let's move on to fishing, or at least what we know about fishing. It's learned down the street near the crafting area in Silvermoon City. Like earlier iterations, there's a total of 300 skill points with breakpoints to meet before you can start finding fish in open water. Eversong fishing is available right away, followed by Zulaman, Herondar, and finally Voidstorm. There are lures to eventually craft as you discover more fish, along with a ward to prevent enemy fish ambushes because, well, that's a thing. Although defeating the ambush awards another fish, so I'm wondering, do I really want to ward these off? Depending on the fish, you can throw these back into the water for temporary buffs. One fish in particular will teleport you to a random midnight zone. It's kind of like the engineering wormhole. With only 3 or so weeks left before general launch, that's kind of it for fishing, at least right now. In previous betas, there was an activity that had us diving for treasures and it had some relationship with fishing, but that's since been kind of scrubbed. NPCs related to this event, they're still there, but mention of the activity has been, like I said, it's been scrubbed off the surface. You need a bit of data mining to even see the achievements, but they haven't been totally removed from the game data. So maybe this event is being held off for later. Otherwise though, sorry to say, I've failed to find anything more to fishing. Like there's no fishing derby to find, and as of now, there's just the 1 achievement to max out fishing skill. So I'm sorry again for the letdown. I frankly hope that I missed out on something big, and maybe something big will come in the next few weeks and then you guys can blast me in the comments. Really, I'd rather be an idiot than to feel like there's nothing to look forward to for our fishing friends out there. But that's the guide. Please like this video, subscribe for more WoW coverage, catch me live, and I'll catch you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.